This week on Canada in the Rough, we're whitetail hunting in Ontario. Northwestern Ontario is renowned for its big whitetails, and today the Beasley Brothers are heading to the Kenora district to hunt with Pickerel Creek Camp. Paul and Kevin will be in pursuit of mature whitetails, while Keith joins them in the stand with a camera in place of his trusty rifle. Hunting big woods often means hard hunting. Sitting in a tree stand from sunup to sundown, day after day, is sometimes what it takes to harvest a true mature whitetail. And during the long hours and sometimes harsh elements will test anyone's patience. With the low doe to buck ratio, successful hunting typically means aggressive hunting. Everything from grunting to rattling and even deer decoys is the name of the game to take home a mature buck. Proper quality deer management is very important to Canada in the Rough, and one of the key components is selective harvesting. Being patient and holding out for a mature buck will not only help the health of the deer herd, but it will also mean shooting bigger bucks. Join us today as Paul and Kevin hit the big woods of Northwestern Ontario in search of mature whitetail bucks.
Big woods whitetail hunting here in Northwestern Ontario is much different than what most deer hunters experience in their home areas. It's just so vast. So there's a lot of times to go into scouting that make the hunt what it is. We do have a lot of adult deer and mature deer, which is probably the #1 reason why deer hunters want to come to Northwestern Ontario, to have the opportunity to harvest a mature adult whitetail. We also use a lot of aggressive tactics. We do a lot of rattling, a lot of calling, and rattling works. There is a very balanced doe to buck ratio here, so the rattling actually works for the bucks because there is a lot of competition out there. So they actually come to rattling more here than they would in other areas where there are so many more does.
Oh, we're up here on day 1 of our Northwestern Ontario deer hunt. We're hunting in the Kenora district. This is basically a big wood style deer hunt, something we're not very familiar with ourselves, but we're really excited about it. The rut's in full swing. They're basically in the tending phase, so we're expecting a lot of daytime movement as bucks finish off with one doe and are looking for another. This meadow here has 2 pinch points, one to my left, one to my right, and right from my tree stand I can see a couple trees that have been rubbed. I mean, everything about this just spells big buck action, so do a little bit of rattling, see if we can't stir up some action. Wow, what an exciting start to our deer hunt. We got in the stand about 1 o'clock. This is just after 4 now, and that 8-point just came charging into our rattling. He was a beautiful deer, probably only about 3.5 years old, and that's just not quite what we're looking for in this hunt. This is big deer country with great buck to doe ratios and lots of upper age class bucks, and we're just not looking to settle for a 3.5-year-old deer. our second day here. This is the second buck we've called in today to the rattles, and he was a beauty. Nice, clean, symmetrical 10. Again though, probably only about 3.5 years old. These deer have big bodies up here, which can make them a little bit deceiving. But all in all, I just wasn't comfortable shooting him yet. It's only day 2. We've got a full week to hunt, and I'm convinced that there's more mature deer out there.
It's so thick up here. The deer movement is a lot different. We don't necessarily know where they bed and where they feed. It's just so vast. A lot of the deer movement up here is between 10 and 2 in the afternoon, which makes for a long sit because our hunters sit from dark to dark. And that's a very mind-staking task to sit in a tree for a week from dark to dark, but that's sometimes what it takes.
Well, that's something you don't see every day. That buck came in beautifully, walked right into us and started working that scrape over. Something really neat about scrapes. Well, a couple neat facts. One, 80% of scrapes are made at night. So to watch them do it in daylight is more uncommon than it is common. But the real neat thing is that there's 3 parts to scraping. One, the licking branch. That was when he was working that tree over. He was working the branch into the glands in his eyes and in his forehead. Sometimes they use it in their mouth and they lick it, which is where it got its name. Secondly, he was pawing the ground. And third, he was urinating in the scrape. We just saw him do each one of them, but that doesn't always happen. In fact, 90% of buck activity at a scrape is just the licking branch. That means that only 10% of bucks that work a scrape will actually paw the ground or pee into it. So what we just saw was fairly unusual and fairly rare to see, not to mention it being done by a one-antlered buck.
Putting your time in is what it takes to be able to harvest a mature Canadian whitetail from these big woods. During this hunt, Kevin Beasley hunted long and hard, spending every one of his 8 days in the stand from sunup to sundown. Kevin tried everything from grunting to rattling and even using a deer decoy as he tried to lure a mature buck out of the woods. Though Kevin had many great encounters with the local wildlife and even rattled in 5 different younger bucks, that mature buck that he had his heart set on unfortunately never showed up. Thankfully, hunting is not all about the kill. Watching the woods come alive during the day and having close-up experiences with younger deer is not only enjoyable, but can also provide invaluable knowledge for your next hunt.
Here he comes. He's down. I could just hear him giving his last kicks. He's probably only 50, 60 yards inside the bush. That was unbelievable. We get in here, it's late morning, the sun's not even middle of the sky yet. I'm setting up a stand, and I could hear something walking in, and here this guy comes walking out from the opposite end of the slough. So I got down out of my stand. We belly crawled out to the edge of the slough, and I grunted him out of the trees. You could see he comes trotting out. He was fired right up, trots right in. I made the shot at about, 80 yards maybe, and he is down. Northwestern Ontario, Pickerel Creek Outfitters, we've got a buck down. Hallelujah. What a long, hard hunt, but how rewarding. Let's go check him out. That is a perfect color of blood. Pink, frothy. I already know the deer's down, but that's what you're looking for when you shoot a deer. That tells you you've got lungs, and that tells you your deer's not going far. There we go, speck here. Got blood there. Got blood here. There he is. There he is. Woo! Look at this beast. Look at that beast. Look at that. We're hunting up here in the Kenora district with Pickerel Creek Camp, and couldn't have had a better experience. I am truly thrilled with a great deer like this. This is a 4.5-year-old deer, I figure. Beautiful thick neck on him. He's not got the greatest inside spread, but he's got great tine length. You know, these are probably 9-inch G2s, probably an 8.5, 9-inch G3. His left side's a little bit weaker, but overall, just a beautiful, beautiful deer. And I couldn't be happier to take him home. So we're gonna get him cleaned up. We're gonna get him back to camp, and let's hope that Keith and Kev are having the same luck we are.
Hey folks, hope you enjoyed this video. For more great videos and content, please subscribe to our page and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see. And to follow our amazing adventures around Canada, please join us on Facebook and Instagram.